Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, and also I like to think of today as Christmas Eve's Eve. Stepping into this festive week ahead. Here we are with our usual Monday check-in and our Mastering Your Mindset session. So before we start getting into pulling cards, I use 4 different decks of cards for these sessions. As if you've watched these before, you know that I like to just feel into what phases of the moon is impacting us as we step into this week. And this week's impact is from the last quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra. I actually really like the vibe that Libra gives us. So the whole thing about following the phases of the moon is it's really to help you become very aware of what's going on. I like to think of this as lifting the hood. What's going on underneath the surface? And so when I talk about it being influenced by Libra, Libra is all about balance. And so this last quarter phases of the moon is also about letting go, right? Because as we work with the rhythm and the influence of the phases of the moon, when we're at this juncture, the next time we do the check-in, it's going to be the new moon, which is complete letting go and surrendering and planting seeds for what's to come. Actually, the new moon is going to be a very auspicious one. I'll talk about that one next week. This is going to be a black moon. But back to this thing about the balance. So when I think about balance, of course, this is about balance in relating, in being and doing, and listening to your head and listening to your heart. So if we want to have balanced, harmonious relationships between ourselves and others, between ourselves and the collective, between us and everything around us, it has to start internally. So this is the key piece too, is how is your relationship you with you? How do you treat yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Are you kind? Are you loving? Are you getting that best equilibrium or balanced approach for being and doing? This is a very important part. And so the other part of the last quarter phase of the moon is all about letting go. So perhaps as you contemplate these ideas of, am I in rhythm, in my own sense of rhythm that gives me a sense of equilibrium or a sense of balance? And then you can then look at how am I reacting or interacting, I should say, with those around you, with my loved ones, with people out in the collective. If any of these ideas kind of discombobulate you, or you need a wee bit more support or guidance or ideas on this, just put it in the comments below or message me directly. My idea here is to help inspire you to really listen. And I put quotation marks around that because listening to our inner wisdom, how do you receive your inner wisdom? Does it just land as an idea? Does it come up as an inner knowing? Does it come or because you hear something or you say something or you write something? Or we all have different ways of accessing our own inner wisdom, our own inner guidance. And so that's kind of an important piece too with following the phases of the moon. So last quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra, and really inspiring us to find that balance. But also, as you start letting go, you could even maybe be having a sense of what are you taking forward into 2025? What are you releasing because it's no longer part of who you've become? Let's face it, 2024, there was a lot of shifts and changes and evolving and evolution, and now it's time to let that go, because as we learn things about ourselves, as we experience them, then it's important to see, are we walking forward with that still? Does it still serve it? Is it for your highest and best good? And sometimes it's for our highest and best good to say, thank you, that was a great experience, or that was not such a great experience, but it's over. I'm not taking it forward anymore. I hope that makes sense. Okay, So now we're going to start pulling cards. So I said to you, this is a big phase of letting go. That's what we're starting with, is my letting go guidance system. So just take a nice deep breath here. Nice deep breath with me. And let's see, what can we focus on letting go? And this idea is to, as you check in for the balance of your inner and outer worlds, as of how you're talking to and about yourself, this is just an inspiration of where to start. Oh, and this is perfect. Always perfect, right? The card that's come up for us today is hiding your light. See, if you're hiding your light, that's not really in balance. We all have areas of light and dark, but sometimes we can stifle our light. We can stifle shining and being the beacon because we've got too much attention on the things that are not going right, or the things that we should be doing, or the things that we don't like about ourselves. So how can you start letting go of the propensity to hide your light? Not only to hide your light, but to hide the truth of who you are or who you're becoming. And actually, that's actually can be helpful to watch how you speak. How, like, are you thinking, you might have an idea and then your inner critic says, no, you can't do that, or that's silly, or people won't like it, or ... fill in the blank. And so if that's happening, you can do something to acknowledge it, but then let it go. Because really, each one of us, our purpose, our journey, our calling, it's to first of all, really tap into knowing, 100% knowing who you are. And next part of that is accepting all that you are, and then bringing your unique, quirky, fun, sometimes not so fun, but your unique gifts, because that is the thread that kind of unites all of our life purposes. That's what it is to know yourself, fully know yourself, and then walk forward authentically, coming from your heart, allowing yourself to speak from your heart. That also is coming from that balance of your head and your heart. So as I was riffing on those ideas, I was shuffling my tarot cards. Perfect. It's the Three of Pentacles. Oh, see, Three of Pentacles. There. So when we're talking about the Libra balance, Three of Pentacles makes me think of your prosperity, your abundance, your wealth, your well-being comes from balance. And whenever I see the threes, I think of it. The balance is your head, your heart, and your higher self. Can you evolve perhaps, or bring in your head, heart, and higher self into your decisions, into your direction, into what you're animating, into what you're experiencing, into what you're making intentions and goals? And you know, when I talk about intentions and goals, if you haven't done so, I would invite you to start contemplating, what would you like to have as your theme for 2025? I've been doing this since 2026. 2016 is picking a one-word theme for each year. And if you want my handout for it, just message me or put it in the comments below. I have a PDF that I'm happy to let you have to help just inspire that idea. Because you see, rather than setting resolutions or being really masculine focused, masculine is the doing, whereas the feminine is the being. And that's what we're doing. We have to get the balance between the being and the doing. But rather than setting resolutions for the new year, how about just setting a one-word theme? Because it helps us. I find it so helpful when you do need to make a decision, or you are setting intentions or goals. You can actually check in with yourself and see, does that suit, or does that fit, or does it resonate? Does it build, or does it take me toward it or away from it? And of course, sometimes we may say, I want to go away from it, so that if your word is I don't know, glow, then you can say, does this choice, does this trajectory that I'm on, is it taking me towards feeling that glow? or does it take me away from it? And sometimes we go away from our theme in order to fulfill it even more, to feel it even more. And that's that whole idea of we live in polarity, and in order to know one aspect, we must know the other, right? In order to know that it's light, we must know the dark. In order to know that it's warm, we must know cold. But we get to then set preferences by experiencing it or turning it on. Turning on, trying it on. I trust that makes sense. Like I said, if I say anything here that confuses you or you need a bit more guidance or clarity on it, just let me know. But now, getting ready to wrap our session up here, I was just shuffling my Intuitive Whispers card deck here. Oh, this is funny. And I really shuffled them today because there's a card that's been coming up multiple times in these sessions, and it's come up again. It's this one, Split Your Focus. Isn't that interesting? That I'm sure that came up last week also. And you know, in this idea of the balance, the being and doing, that is actually very important, is split your focus, knowing that you cannot be all one thing. You cannot just push forward and keep doing and doing and doing and doing and doing. You do need to sit still and allow the answers you're looking for to land. Allow your inner guidance, allowing your own inner landscape to take a breath sometimes. So perhaps that's how come that keeps coming up for us, is that it is really important to understand and to always do something to acknowledge that we are spiritual beings having this 3D, this physical experience, right? So that is such an important part, is that as you walk forward, you don't lose sight of the other aspect of you, and that actually in itself creates balance. The next one is the power of silence. The power of silence is superbly important also, because sometimes if we ask a question and just be quiet, that's when your intuitive guidance can bubble up to the surface too. Or you can hear the wisdom coming to you through the words of another, or from a song, but it's in silence that you actually get to receive it. And then the last one here is the precious present moment. All that really is this precious present moment. Do you allow yourself to be here, or do you get caught off guard by the chattering mind of, oh my God, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this, and take a deep breath. Savor the yumminess of this present moment. Such an important part. And let go of that to-do list just for a moment. You can say to it, I'll get back to you. I'll come back to that. Okay, lovelies. I'm just about to send you off into this beautiful week ahead. I hope you have lots of fun stuff planned for this week as we embrace ourselves, wrap ourselves up in festive fun, festive celebration, whatever it is that you've got planned. Taking a nice deep breath. The final card that we do here is my Liberate Your Inner Truth cards. So let's see what will send us off into embracing the power of this last quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra. And it's I am focused. Are you focused? Being focused on yourself is such an important part. And then allowing that to you can focus your attention on other people, but remember to fill your cup first. Such an important part. But let me read this out to you. I allow myself to dream big dreams and set goals accordingly. Then I take action to make them happen. I stay focused on my intentions, and my action plan is my map to my treasure. So that's actually a very interesting one to come with that, where I was saying that, getting the balance between the being and the doing. You can set goals, you can create that treasure map, but always remember that sometimes sitting and contemplating, or just being in the silence, or just being in the yumminess of the present moment is the activity that's required to achieve your goals. I trust that makes sense. I wish you a beautiful week ahead. I'll be back again with you next Monday. Much love to you.